Yay, I am live. Oh, right, okay, let's see how this goes. As you can see, this is a bit of a strange setup. Yay, I think, right, you can see me. Okay, if you saw my post a little bit earlier, I sort of said, guys, this lesson's going to be sat down. Mainly because I'm pretty sure all around the country, if you're watching this from abroad, which I know some of you tune in from South Africa, and Italy, it's really hot today. Like my watch says right now it's 29 degrees and we don't have air conditioning as well. I think we'll need to get air conditioning soon, but it's so hot, so I'm just gonna have to do my downstairs, got a fan on the background, so bear with me today that it just needs to be done sat down because it's too flustering. Anyway, let's get back to the maths though. We're still doing the maths. So your starter challenge relates back to Monday's lesson. I'd like you to compare each pair of values. I've not put pair of numbers, pair of values. Can you compare them using the more than, less than, and equal symbols? Give that a go. Let me know, and I'll be back to go through the answers. Hi Noah, hello. I nearly didn't bring the Maths Live background up, but it just looked a bit funny with a just a lamp in the background. Hi Oscar, hello. Maybe I could just do this every week, just be sat down. Hi Lucy, hello. So even after just talking for a few seconds, I'm already like, oh. I need like a Maths Live fan. I need to get like a Maths Live. Got Maths Live on it as I as I do this. Oh, right, got some answers. Okay, right, so let's move this so we need to begin. So the best way to remember it is the crocodile eats the biggest number. That's the best way to remember it. Okay, because when we talk about more than, less than, it's like which way does it mean? Is it which way? So that's can be the confusing bit, but that's always the best. And I know a lot of you have heard of that as well. So the crocodile, so the biggest number is always going to be on that side facing. So the jaws of the crocodile are ready to open it. If you imagine that's the crocodile and he's going to eat the biggest number, so that would be the biggest one there. So in that case, if we look at number one, we've got two numbers, okay, so they are digits. They've both got tens and units, or tens and ones, whatever you say. So they've got equal number of digits. We need to actually compare the digits themselves. Now this one has got 7 tens, and this one has got 3 tens. And obviously 7 tens is bigger than 3 tens. We know 73 is bigger than 37, so it'll go this way round. Now, again, going back to this, I put compare each pair of values, so I wasn't strictly putting numbers in, and this is where you go to greater depth when you're doing comparing values. So you've actually been given a sum on this side and a calculation on this side, so it's double calculating. Don't stress about that. Don't think, oh, what do I do here? Just complete it as you see it. So it's saying 18 take away 2. So it's looking for a number fact. What is 18 take away 2? It's 16. So you can write it underneath if you want. Just put it in brackets underneath. Oh, right, I'm going to remember that's 16. And the next one is 4 squared. Now remember, if you square a number, that basically means 4 times 4. And what is 4 times 4? 16. So both our numerical answers to each side are 16, which means 18 take away 2 is equal to 4 squared. That's the overall answer. They are equal to each other. And you're fine to do notes like this if it helps you. Same with the last one. You've got 2 calculations. So you just complete them. So 5 times 11, 5 11s are 55. Okay. 10 divided by 2. So what's half of 10? Half of 10 is 50. So we've got 55 on this side, 50 on this side, and we know that 55 is just bigger than 50. So that's how you complete it. So don't worry if it's not just digits on each side if you need to do a calculation. Okay. So this week, the focus has been place value, and it's comparing numbers, and we're going to do the comparing numbers that you do all the time at school. And we're going to be doing ordering numbers. Ordering numbers today. And again, we'll start off from the beginning, from the basics, and then build it up. Now, it's not just going to be whole numbers today. Not just going to be integers. We're going to go up into other numbers. Right, so what do? I'm going to give you a random set of numbers. Okay, I'm going to say 5, 28, 73, 14, 81, and 32. Okay, and you might be asked to order these numbers. Okay, but this is the bit that can trick a lot. So the question might say, order from smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest. Or it could say, put in ascending order or descending order. Ascend gets bigger, descend gets smaller. So I will use that terminology later. Now, you might say, well, why is this so important? You have no idea how many times you could read a question and then dive in without properly reading. Is it smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest? Especially if it's biggest to smallest. We naturally want to do smallest to biggest, so be careful. Always check which way are you doing it. It's the easiest mistake to make. I've seen it so many times as a teacher. Smallest to biggest, we're looking for the smallest number first. Right, first of all, I'm going to study the numbers. I'm not going to jump right in. So we've got a 1-digit number here. This is 2-digit, 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 2-digit. So immediately, fun enough, my 5 is the smallest number. It's the only 1-digit number. If you want to cross it through, you can do. I sometimes like to underline them like that, because if I cross through too much, I might make a mistake, but then I can't see what the number was. So I like to just underline it sometimes. But I've done both ways. It's fine. Right, so I've done right. So now I know all the other digits are 2-digit numbers. So I need to look at the tens next. So this is a 2. This is a 7. This is a 1. This is an 8. And this is the 3. Now, the smallest out of those is the 1. So 14 is my next biggest number. Okay. Now we'll do a check again. So we've got 2, 7, 8, 3. 2 is the next biggest, 28. Done that one. 7, 8, 1, so 32. So the next biggest. And down to my last 2, 73 and 81. Now, another thing, that's quite short. You'll see the ordering that we're going to do today is quite short. It's the method, it's not a competition of how many numbers you can order in one go. It's the method and making sure that you're accurate. Another tip for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just check that you've got the same number of numbers in your answer that's in the question. Just check that you haven't missed one. It took 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because if you had 5, think, hang on, I've missed one. Easiest thing to do. Okay? Right, so it's your go. So, I've already pre-prepared today. So here are your numbers. And I'd like you to do biggest to smallest. So I'd like you to have a go at that. And I shall disappear for a second and let you work and have some very, very cold water. So take your time. Read the question. Look at the place values you've been given. It's not a race. Okay, let's give you a few more seconds. Oh, yeah, got a couple. Good. Okay, looks like we're looking good. So, again, going through. So I'm going to check. So, it's biggest, smallest. So I want the biggest number first. I'm looking for the biggest number. But first of all, we're going to study the numbers themselves. So we've got 23, 2-digit, 2-digit, 13, 2-digit, 270, 3-digit, 2-digit, 2-digit. So they're all 2-digit apart from this one, which is a 3-digit number, and it's going into the hundreds. So obviously that must be the biggest number. It's the only one that goes into the hundreds. So I've got 270. So that one is done. Okay. And the rest are all in the tens. So I've got to compare the tens. So I've got 2 tens, 5 tens, 1, 8, and 4. Okay. So 2, 5, 1, 8, 8 is the next biggest one. Remember, I'm looking for the biggest to smallest. Okay, so I've done this one. I've done this one. So 2, 5, 1, 4. 2, 5, 1, 4. 5 is the next biggest. Next smallest, I should say, going down. Next biggest that's left, you could say it as. Right, 2, 1, 4. So 2, 1, 4, 49. Okay, so I've done that one. And then I've got 23 and 13. 23, 13 is the smallest. Just going to look. 270, 83, 56, 49, 23. Looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So I got it right. Hope you did too. I saw a couple of answers. Looked good. Right, so that's quite the introduction to ordering numbers. Okay. So again, we'll step it up to the next one. Okay, so I'm going to go up to more than 2 digits now. And I'm going to change the numbers so that you have to be a lot more careful with your study. Here's an example. So I could have 513, 311, 351, 153, 531, so I'm just going to make that comma a bit clearer, and 315. Now, and I'm going to do this in, so, ascending order. Now, ascend means you go up. So when an aircraft, when a plane takes off, it ascends, it gets higher. Okay. And descending means that you go down. So you can descend down a hill. So it's that mathematical terminology we need to understand. So we're going to do ascending order, which means it gets bigger. Now, you obviously might have seen that I have used the same digits multiple times in multiple orders, and it's more, you've got to really concentrate on being able to compare the place values. Okay, so let's have a look. 3-digit, 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 3-digit. So they're all 3-digit numbers. Okay, so and we're going from ascending order, so we need to start from the smallest. Remember, ascending, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going to look, obviously start with the biggest values, the 100. So we've got 5, 3, 3. So now we've got more than one twice. Before, they were all different, weren't they? So 5, 3, 3, 1. That's smallest so far. 5 and 3 again. Right. So this is the small. This is the only number that has a 1 in the hundreds. The others have 5 or 3. So I've got 153 to start. So that one's done. All the others were 5 or 3. I can ignore the ones that are 5 for now. I know they're the biggest ones. So the ones that are 3 are this one, and this one. Right. So they've all got the same number of hundreds now. So I need to go to the tens. This one's got 1 10. This one's got 5 tens. And this one's also got 1 10. So now I need to compare directly these two. So we've got 311 and 315. 11 is smaller than 15. So 311 and then 315. So there's the next two that are done. And then we had one left that was in the 300s. So that's 351. And obviously make sure you copy it accurately as well. Make sure what you're seeing is what you're writing. Sounds basic, but because there's lots of different numbers, you can get muddled up. Right, so I've done this one out. Right, the last two, both in the 500s, okay? So we've got 5 and 5, so I need to, again, go to the tens. So this has got 1 10, and this has got 3 tens. 1 is smaller than 3, so it's going to go 513, and 531 is our biggest number. So it looks correct. Just checking as it goes along. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so that's how you do it. You might think, oh, that's just, can you see what methodical I was trying to be? Checking different things, constantly looking back, comparing, making sure. It's all about the skill. It's not a race. Okay, so it's going to be your turn now. So similar objective. Okay, and I would like you to order these in descending order. And I'll tell you, if it descends, it starts from the biggest, starts from the highest, and goes to the lowest or the smallest. So have a go at that, ordering those numbers in descending order. All just looking back at some of your answers. Very good. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join in the question as I do it. That's absolutely fine. Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds. I've got a couple of answers. Okay. By the way, if this is your first maths live lesson, if you've not seen any maths live lessons before, whether it's on my Facebook page and YouTube, this is the only one that's ever been sat down. Normally I'm up and about upstairs, but I was just saying it's too hot today. So if you look at all the other ones, I'm all jumping around. So, right, so descending order. So remember, descending means you start from the highest amount and you go down to the lowest amount. So if you descend down the mountain, that means you're going from the top of the mountain to the bottom. So that means we need to find the biggest number first. Right, first of all, 3 digit, 3 digit, 3 digit, 4 digit, 1,112, 3 digit, 3 digits. So I've already found my biggest number. 1,112. Done. Okay, and the rest were 3 digit numbers. So let's have a look. So we've got 300, 100, another 300, 200, and 100. So there was 2 300s, wasn't there? There's this one and this one. Oh, just move that out a bit. Spread it across. There we go. So I've got to now directly compare these two. So this is 312 and this is 321. 21 is bigger than 12. So it'll be 3, 2, 1 and 3, 1, 2. Okay, right, so I've got those two done. So we've got left 132 and all the way across, done that one. 213 and 123. Right, this has got 200s, and the other ones that are left have only got 100s. So that's one's done. Right, my last two, 132, 123. 32 is bigger than 23. So 123 is my smallest number. I'm just going to check. Yeah, it is decreasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By the way, it's completely coincidental that I'm doing 6s each time. It just happens to fit on the board. Let's have a look. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2 thirds. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Looks. Sorry, just a couple more. Good. Well done. Okay. So that is ordering numbers, whole numbers. But I didn't want to just stop the lesson there. Okay, I didn't want to just stop the lesson there. I thought, while we're ordering numbers, we might as well look at decimals. Okay. Because it's not that much different. All you're doing is considering an extra place value, and it's those decimal place values. So, for example, you might be given 3.5, 8.2, 7.9, 1.66, and 13.7. Squeeze that one in just there. Okay, and you're asked to order them from biggest to smallest. So just do exactly as you've done before. Exactly as you've done before. We're talking, remember when we're talking about decimal points, we're going, the first value after the decimal point is the tenths, then we go to the hundredths, then we go to the thousands. But you don't need to worry about explaining each one in this. You're just comparing them each side. I'll show you what I mean by that. So don't worry about having to name them. Okay, as long as you're working again the methodical way, you'll be fine. So we're looking for the biggest number first. Okay, now always start here. We're looking at, we sort of don't need to look at the decimals yet. Let's look at the actual whole numbers. So we've got 3, 8, 7, 1, and 13. Well, 3, 8, 7, 1, 13. 13 is the biggest number. So 13.7. Okay, so 3, 8, 7, 1. Well, 8's the next biggest. Can you see that at this point, I don't need to even look at the decimals. The whole numbers I'm ordering just by looking at those. 3, 7, 1. it doesn't matter how many numbers are after the decimal point as well. Okay, that's not 166, that's one whole, and then some decimals after it. Yeah. So we've got 7.9, 3.5, and then finally we've got a 1.66. So don't think, oh, well, that can't be the smallest because it's got the most decimal points. Well, decimals, obviously, the further on you go in your decimal place value, the smaller it is. So here we only had to compare the whole numbers. Okay. So again, your turn. So with this one, I would like you to order from smallest to biggest. Smallest to biggest. I'll get it up for you. Here it is. So there, I hope you can see those. They're a little bit small. See if I dare to try and bring it a little bit closer without knocking over. Ah, the technicalities. That didn't make too much difference, but... So for clarification, we've got 22.8, 37.1, 85.22, 14.9 and 23.6. So remember, don't worry about the decimals unless we need to use them. The numbers have got whole numbers and we should always start with the biggest value and work across. And if we've ever got a value that's the same, that's when we go across and use the next value. So let's have a look. So, I mean, first of all, smallest to biggest. Let's actually, that's what we're doing. Ordering from smallest to biggest, like I say, is the easiest thing to do. Go, hang on, what are we actually starting with? Right. 22, 37, 85, 14, 23. The whole numbers are all 2 digits. Okay, that's an important thing. So they're all 2 digits, so I'm going to start with the tens. Okay, not the tenths, the tens. So I've got 2 tens, 3 tens, 8, 1, 2. Okay, I'm looking for the smallest. So 2, 3, 8, 1, 2. Right. Here's my smallest number. See, didn't even have to go into the ones there. I didn't need to go into the decimals. 14.9. 2, 3, 8, 2. Right, I've got two lots of 2. So I've got 22 and 23. And I know that 22 is smaller than 23. So I put the whole number in, 22.8 and 23.6. So I've done that one. And I've got 2 left. I've got 37.1 and 85.22. I know that 85.22 is the biggest number. So there, as you can see, I didn't need to use the decimals at all. But obviously, sometimes you might need to. And this is the biggest challenge. This is the last challenge of today's lesson. Okay. So you could be asked to order numbers where you do have to consider the decimal place value. That is part of the process. Let me show you an example. So we could have 7.4. And again, the number, the digits might be repeated. Let's say so again, I'm not going to do loads. And let's say I've been asked to do this in descending order. Descending order. So I'm starting with the biggest number first. Right, so let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Okay. So looking at the whole part first. So I've got a 7, 4, another 7, 14 and 4. Right, that's the only 2-digit number here. So 14, so I don't need to look at the decimal for that. It's 14.1. There's one done. So going back again, 7, 4, 7, 4. Okay, so it's the 7s that I need to look at. Right, so the whole number is equal. Now I need to go into the decimal point. And the first value after the decimal point is the 10th. Now this is 7.4. So this number has got 4 tenths. Okay. Now this number has got no tenths. Remember, this is the first value after the decimal point. Here and here. Doesn't matter if there's another number there. Okay, doesn't matter, because remember, it's going bigger, smaller, smaller. So 4 is smaller than there. This is going into the hundreds column. That's smaller. So we compare directly each time. You could even cover it up. 7.4 is bigger than 7.0. The 4 we don't need to go into. So we go 7.4. So I've done that one. And then 7.0, because you can see, we put the 4 on as well. Okay. And then the last two, again, 4 and 4. So we need to go into the next smallest place value, which is the tenths. This one has got no tenths, and the last one's got 7 tenths. And obviously 7 is bigger than 0. So it'll be 4.7, okay, and then 4.01. Okay. Another trick you could do, if you really didn't understand this, if we took these two numbers and compared them, so we've got 4.7 and 4.01. I was taught this by another child, and I love that about learning from different parts of the world, in different parts of the country, never mind different parts of the world. You can learn in different ways. And they said, like, you could equal it up. So yeah, this number here has got 1 whole, and this one's got 1 whole. This one's got a tenth, and this one's got a tenth. Now this number doesn't have a hundredth. Okay, so if you're going to add a hundredth in, well, there isn't any hundredths, so you just put there's no hundredths. And can you see 70 is bigger than 1? I think that's a really nice way of doing it as well. It helps you see that it's more balanced this time, and 70 is bigger than 1. Okay. So again, different methods. You can either look directly at the place value or change it within reason. Changing it without changing the number for it to help you. Right, last question. So here are the numbers you're ordering. And I'm going to say, can you do them in ascending order? Ascending order. Give that a go. I like this. Is it the topic that you like or the fact that I'm sat down? It feels quite hard. I know Lara sits, and by the way, Lara, I'm talking about Theatre of Science. Lara sits. It's cool. I like it. I know the heat wave is due to end today, but you never know. It might come back. I think the last time I did sit was when I was doing that 3D drawing lesson and obviously needed to concentrate on presenting it correctly. Ah, fantastic. Right, got a few answers. Right, I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, right. So, last one. So ascending order. So that means smallest to biggest. If you're ascending, you're going up, everything's getting bigger. So we're looking for the smallest number first. Right. First of all, let's study the numbers. So I'm going to start with the whole numbers. So we've got 15, 5, 15, 6, 6, and 5. Okay, so 15, 5, 15, 6, 6, 5. So 5 is the smallest. So we've got here's one with 5 and here's one with 5. So we need to go to the tenths now. So we've got 5 holes and 6 tenths, 5 holes and 1 tenth. 1 is smaller than 6. See, even my pens are giving up in this heat. So 5.1 and 5.6. 1 tenth is more than 6 tenths. So I've done this one and this one here. Okay. So let's recap. So 15, 15, 6, 6 and 5. Oh, these two are right next to each other. So I've got 6 and no tenths and 6 and 5 tenths. So 6 and no tenths and then 6 and 5 tenths. Okay, so that one's done, that one's done. And then the last two, both 15s. This one's got 6 tenths. Now, the number directly after the decimal point in this number, the value is 0. So this hasn't got any tenths, okay? I know it's got a 6 after, but that's into a different place value. That's into the hundreds. So 15.6, 06, sorry, is smaller than 15.6 because this has got no tenths, whereas this one's got 6 tenths, and 6 tenths is bigger than no tenths. There we go. So we've been ordering numbers today, not just whole numbers, we've gone into decimals. Quite a nice long lesson actually, I really enjoyed that. But I'll be back next week with more Maths Live. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. If you are a patron, you are going to get a challenge on the patron page, so look out for that. Send me your answers if you want to have a go at them. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend.